Vitaly versus Andrei Smaev.
So, wow, Andrei Smaev. Now that's a guy real big problem.
Hey guys, welcome back to Table Torque. Today we are going to talk about the sparring session between Andrei Smaev and Larry Wheels, and how dangerous he could be if he ever took arm wrestling seriously, plus his potential against top athletes. Andrei Smaev is a Russian calisthenics powerlifter, and he's huge, even bigger than Levon and Prime Denny. His build is quite similar to Dennis, and honestly, I'd say he's even bigger. First of all, let's check out some of Smaev's insane lifts. He's benched around 300 kilograms. For reference, Levon's bench press PR is around 260 kilograms, and Dennis's was around 270 kilograms. And as most of you know, the bench press is one of the indicators of side pressure. Side pressure can be developed a lot if you have strong pecs. Now, what I believe, from my experience and from people I've trained with, is that chest strength plays a really important role in arm wrestling. Some people may disagree, but let's say we take two people. One is already a bodybuilder with fully developed pecs, and the other is a beginner starting from scratch. The bodybuilder's pec strength comes from regular gym movements, not from arm wrestling specific ones. So even though his chest is big, it isn't trained to work along with the connection needed for arm wrestling. But if a beginner starts training the chest with general gym lifts along with side pressure movements right from the start, he'll develop his pecs in a way that supports side pressure. The more he connects his pec muscles to that movement, the more effective and activated they become for arm wrestling. That's why I believe the pec is super important for side pressure. It's not just about having a big chest, but about how well it's connected to the movement. Devin, for example, trains his pecs every time he works inside. So you can't really say he's not training them. He is, just not in isolation, but as part of that connected motion. Imagine you're at the gym, doing 30-kilogram hammer curls, dreaming about beating Levon one day, and suddenly you turn around and see this. This guy is literally hammer curling 100 kilos. Like, what even is that? That's most people's deadlift PR, and he's just hammer curling it like it's nothing. We've also seen him doing some arm wrestling specific movements. He's also doing weighted pull-ups, all with ridiculous numbers. Recently, a video came out of him doing back pressure with 130 kilograms. That's something not even Levin or Hermes have done so far. But let's talk form for a second. The best hand position to target the brachioradialis and make it translate better on the table is when your hand is in a neutral position. Not overly pronated or supinated. A little pronation is fine, but too much supination makes the lift easier because it engages the biceps more. Now, the issue isn't that the bicep is engaged. It's always involved whether your hand is neutral, pronated, or supinated. But the brachioradialis only contributes fully when the hand is neutral or pronated. The more it gets supinated, the more that muscle gets disconnected from the lift. We shouldn't criticize his form too much, because at that kind of weight, it's nearly impossible for any human to keep perfect form. The way he's lifting engages his lats more than just his brachioradialis and biceps, more like a dragging back pressure lift. Even Hermes's PR wasn't that strict in form. With this kind of strong back pressure, if he learns the proper technique and moves around the table more fluidly with that hand, he could potentially top roll someone like Irakli quite easily. For example, Irakli does around 72 kilograms in back pressure. That angle is easier compared to what Smaev is doing, since Smaev is pulling from a higher angle. And let me tell you, Smaev could probably do reps with the same weight that Irakli does in that angle. Does that necessarily mean he can top roll Irakli? Not exactly, but if he refines his technique and gains more table time, he's definitely capable of doing it. Another thing is that his pronation also needs to be extremely strong to make that happen. And right now, we don't really know what level it's at. Levin once said in a video that what Smaev really needs is proper guidance and coaching for arm wrestling. What someone needs to do is give him all the lifts that actually translate to the table, like rising lifts, back pressure, side pressure, pronation lifts, and tell him to progress in those the same way he's progressing in general gym lifts, or just send him to Georgia and forget. His ability to push through all these insane lifts can easily be redirected into arm wrestling training. And who knows, Maybe one day he'll be doing 100 kilos on pronation lift. Now let's talk about the recent Larry Wheels versus Smav practice poll. Right from the beginning, Smav takes a very dominant grip and hand position. Larry can't do anything in this position. From the looks of it, he's in a defensive high hook stance. Larry can't pronate through that wrist. He's trying to curl and go sideways. But Andre's pronation is shutting it all down. Larry's wrist seems like butter in that footage. And we know Larry's wrist is strong, but it just melts in Smav's grip. I honestly don't see this being close if they ever face each other in a super match. People online have been talking about a potential Smav versus Brian Shaw match. But honestly, I think Smav would destroy Brian. Sometimes Brian looks like a robot running low on batteries. His movements on the table aren't very smooth. But Andre, on the other hand, seems to have a solid understanding of vectors and why he's using certain angles. Brian is mostly just moving the way Devin tells him to move on the table. There's also a video of Smav doing 1,000 reps of bicep curls, and right after that, he pulls against a local 130-kilogram Russian arm wrestler and absolutely stonewalls him in that hook. He's holding the guy effortlessly with zero expression. Then against a 150-kilogram powerlifter, he does something I was really happy to see. He cracks the guy's wrist from a defensive position. That's amazing because it shows he now understands vectors, technique, and timing. This is exactly what Brian lacks. But lately he has shown some improvement, especially in the sparring against Jujimufu. Still, Smaev is very strong in defense, and overall, to me, he's definitely capable of defeating some of the super heavyweights. I just hope he progresses the same way Philip or Leonidas did, because if he develops like that, he's going to be a real headache for a lot of people. He has a huge hand. Just look at this footage where John and Larry are pulling. Despite how big John's thumb is, Larry still manages to get a proper grip. That's something not everyone can do. The way he covers the thumb shows that Larry has a pretty big hand with long fingers. Yet even then, he couldn't get a deep grip against Smaev. If you look closely, Larry's fingers are almost flat in that position. Something many people didn't notice is how technically Smaev pulls here. At first, Larry was going inside, so Smaev pronated through the thumb. Then when Larry tried to go outside, Smaev posted, climbed up, and attacked Larry's fingers. You can also see how vertically positioned Smaev is. His hand control is clearly far ahead of Larry's. What do you think about Smaev's progress? Let me know in the comments. That's all I wanted to share today. I'll be back with another great video soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you again.
I saw Smay, unbelievable, really. What I saw with Larry, crazy because Larry is very strong. Dominate like him, like this with Larry, unbelievable.